It's the Brent Carlin podcast featuring, you guessed it, Brent Carlin, here to give you more of the same that you've had in weeks past. What are we going to talk about on this podcast? A lot of what's going in our lives because, again, we failed to book a guest.
We tried, though. Actually, we kind of tried.
We have tried this week. We
But
really have tried.
We can tease that next week we are going to have a guest. Should we say who it is?
Yeah, I think we should say it. He just got over 1 million streams on his song Barcelona on Spotify. 10 Kills
song.
the Pack will be joining us. My good buddy Sean Soroka.
So yeah, that's next week. But let's get into this week.
This week, I think we should start off with the road rage incident because I'm still fuming.
Okay. And I will say that I've noticed you more the more I drive with you lately. You've been getting a little more aggressive behind the wheel.
Maybe. I still think I'm an incredibly cautious driver, and I hate going fast.
You are a cautious driver who doesn't like going fast, but you've been quick to the madness. Quick to get angry.
Oh, for sure.
When you were driving me home from golf, some women I won't even say women, they were probably like 17-year-old girls almost cut us off, and you honked at them and gave them the finger.
Yeah. You need to fucking learn, man. Like, I don't like in that situation, I'm not like livid. I'm just like, what are you thinking?
And then they pulled up to us beside a stoplight and looked at us.
They tried to grill us.
Yeah.
After they almost got T-boned because they made an illegal turn. That's what's fucking like descends me into madness is the people that do something wrong and then you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You give them the finger. You just got to like put your hand up and be like, sorry. You don't give you the finger back. You did something wrong.
Yes. But I often cut people a little more slack. But what happened? What was your road rage incident?
This situation, it started off, and I'll admit that I was wrong. But I will also say that I had no idea. So I'm at a cottage with my girlfriend and more so her friends, another couple, but I've just met them. It's the guy that I went golfing with. I was saying I was nervous to golf with this guy on the podcast. So if you remember that, it's this guy and his girlfriend. We go shoot 9 holes. On the way back, we're like, oh shit, we've been gone for far too long. Maybe the ladies are going to be a little ticked at us. We're on our way back to the cottage. I'm doing 70 on a 50, I guess.
Hell yeah, brother.
I didn't know.
I honor.
Did not know, and I'm not the kind of person to do 70 in a residential. It was a long dirt road with like 4 farmhouses on it. But again, I'm not the kind of guy to go fast there if I knew the speed limit. There was no signage. So there's a car in front of me, or a big truck in front of me. He's going so slow. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So me and Rory, the guy I was with, he's like, let's pass him. We're like, yeah. Pull up beside him. He guns it. Doesn't let us pass. We're like, there's no one else around. This is so weird.
That's ridiculous.
So I'm like, I'm again, pretty cautious driver. I go behind him and I'm like, I'm not about to go like 120 down this road to get in front of him so he can ride my ass. So I go behind him. And then he slams on his brakes and tries to get out of his car in the middle of the road. I have to slam on my brakes. I almost rear end him. Tries to get out of his car to talk to us. So I'm like, no, bye. Go around him and keep driving.
You pulled out. He was parked and you pulled out around him like that?
Exactly. In the middle of the road. So I was like, nope, bye. He then gets in his car and starts bombing down. Goes in front of us again, slams on his brakes. Tries to get out of his car again to talk to us. This time, because he blocked the passing lane, I had to go on the shoulder and get around him that way. Kept going. He then
you're just making him more mad. Whatever he had to say to you, you're just making him more mad doing this.
Yeah, but what's like all he wanted to say was you're going too fast, and he was coming out of his truck to intimidate us.
Yeah.
Don't get out of your fucking truck. It's the middle of a pandemic. I want nothing to do with a stranger.
Yeah.
So we go.
And also, he's driving erratically on this road now and could be making an accident at some point.
All you had to do was flip us off and been like, fuck those kids. They're going too fast. We didn't know the speed limit.
That's what he's so angry about, though, is just that you're going fast.
Yes. And he got passed, or he was going to get passed because we're going 70 in a 50. But to catch up to us, he had to go 110 on this road.
Absurd.
Third time. After we've went around him twice, he cuts in front of us again and starts swerving all over the road so we can't pass him. Slams on his brakes and then parallel parks his truck through both lanes of the road. So now we're like, this is fucking crazy. Leave us alone, man. Rory's a big dude. I'm not small. We have golf clubs in my car. Do you think like you're probably like 60?
He could tell how soft you were from just looking at you driving by.
Nah, man. He saw the new rims on my truck and was like, city slickers, fuck them. I'm sick of these city kids in my small town. Wyerton, I own this thing. Like, he definitely was like, I'm going to take matters into my own hands type shit. And all I was thinking was like, I'd rather get into a fist fight than a car accident. So like, when he's trying to pass me, I'm letting him do it every time. I'm not going 130 so he can't pass either, you know? Like, I'm not playing that game. So he parallel parks across both things, and then he's just like staring at us from the inside of his car. And we're looking at him like, what's up, dude? And then another car pulls behind us. So now there's like a witness to all of this. There's a guy in the driver's seat, a woman in the passenger seat, and she's like honking, going like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Filming the whole thing because it is crazy. She has seen it from behind. He tries to get out and come talk to us. I was like, this guy's going to punch my window, and I'm not about to.
Did you ram him? Ramrod?
He starts coming at us. I'm like, my car is not getting touched. This car was a gift from, like, it was passed down to me from my dead grandma. This car will not be touched. I fucking reverse around everyone, go the other way, because I'm like, we can't even go home at this point. If we go home, he'll follow us to the cottage.
Was he big and scary, or what was this?
I don't know. He's a psychopath. He was like 6'1", 60 years old. But like a good old boy farmer, like maybe had a fucking old gun in his, like, you don't know with people.
Yeah.
And if he's willing to do what he had just shown that he was willing to do in a vehicle, who knows what he's willing to do?
Yeah, he was having a bad day.
So we went 100 the other way because I was like, we need to get away from this guy. And there's two old people walking down the side of the road, and I felt so bad because they're screaming at us like, slow down. And I was like, yeah, obviously slow down. This guy's trying to fucking kill us. And then we had to take like a 20-minute detour to get home. And I was just vibrating for the rest of the day.
Well, I was hoping that that ended with something happening to him, or at least you not going all the way around, because that's a very unsatisfying finish.
Well, am I okay? Yeah, two Toronto local radio host beats the shit out of old man with no proof as to what he did.
That's how I wanted this one to
Two
end.
Toronto thugs show up in Sauble Beach to beat the shit out of unsuspecting farmer. I'm not playing that headline.
You had it coming. You could have made not an excuse, like a press release on this podcast. Could have been big for numbers.
Yeah,
it could have been a tell-all. You could be like, okay, story time. This is why I got arrested.
My attorneys didn't let me speak until now.
Yes.
No, he had a vanity license plate too. It was like Skylark or something.
Skylark?
Skylark. So if you're ever driving around the Sauble Beach area and you see a guy named Skylark, don't fuck with this man.
Skylark is probably his World of Warcraft name, and he was getting all pumped up and aggressive at home.
This man has never seen a computer in his life. Everything he was wearing is denim, and he was wearing one of those hats that is more dust than hat.
Okay.
You know that kind of guy?
Farmer.
Kind of guy who's, if there's one person in the LCBO line, he's like, this is fucking taking too long. That kind of guy. Yeah. It was crazy, though.
Goes to the city, and it's just too busy for him.
Exactly. And the whole time, you're just going, can't breathe down here.
That sounds awful.
But I've never had road rage like that. Like, I've had one dude in Toronto follow me after I cut him off, and I fully was like, I put my hand out and I yelled sorry because I cut him off huge. And I was like, there's nothing I can do, but he followed me. Like, I ran a red and he followed me through the red. And I was like, this is what do you want to do? Beat me up? You want to beat me up?
What's the worst that can happen if you're in your car? I guess they could punch your window out or something.
That's it. And I don't have.
Then you just get their license plate.
She said bullshit though. Like, I told this story on Indie, and a guy called in and he's like, you know, that local 60-year-old man, if you had beaten him up, he's getting the last laugh in that situation. You guys are going to jail. I was like, for sure.
Yeah,
Two
who knows?
29-year-olds driving to a town that they're not from, going too fast. We're intimidating the old man when we weren't. That's exactly what he was doing. But he's going to lie. This guy's a psycho.
Yeah, it's your word against his, though, I guess.
And in Wyerton, I have a feeling they stick with their own kind.
Yeah, and that's where the court would be. That that's going way too fast on a gravel road too. Was it a gravel road?
It was like half dirt, half gravel.
Okay.
And
'Cause,
he's
yeah,
like he tried to he got up and tried to run us off the road. And I had to slam on my brakes so he could go in front.
Yeah, that man sounds awful. He sounds terrible.
It was a wild situation. One that caused me a lot of heartache for the rest of the weekend. Me and Rory just kept looking at each other being like, that was fucking crazy, right? For the whole, it ruined our vibe after golf. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. You want to know what I'm dealing with today?
What are you dealing with today?
Feelings that I'm not doing enough, or feelings that I'm not doing the right thing, because like we've talked about on this podcast a couple times, I just moved into this house. We bought this new house, and maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to overextend ourselves to be able to afford a house in Toronto, but we did.
But how else do you get a house in Toronto if you
Yes.
don't? I don't think there's lots of people being like, well, I'm able to afford this home in the city.
Yeah, so we put all our money into it, and we also we had a plumbing disaster a month into it too, which cost $6,000, which is ridiculous.
You need to start messaging my dad. My dad knows guys in all industry. He'll help you out.
I had a good guy. Oh, you're saying that they could get me a discount?
Yeah.
I'm getting a rebate, I think. I just got the mail came in today, but my neighbor, like 3 weeks, I don't want to talk too loud because they're outside my window right now, but my neighbor, like 3 weeks after moving in, he popped his head over the fence and he's like, do you guys mind if I replace this fence, or we get rid of this fence? It's old and it's kind of shitty. And to tell you the truth, I don't think there's too much wrong with the fence. He was just redoing the fences on the other parts of his property, so we wanted to do the whole thing. It's getting old. It's kind of shitty. It probably needs to be replaced in 5 years.
Part of his property. He had seen it as an eyesore. New owners.
Yeah, he wanted to do it, and he even said it's okay. You guys don't have to pay for it or anything. I will do the whole thing. But I feel like such a goddamn skid not helping to pay for part of the fence. And I consulted a couple people, and Danny and I kind of decided, like, we don't want a new fence. We don't need a new fence. The fence is fine. We don't have right now we don't have the money for a new fence. So we decided not to help pay for the fence, and now they're putting it up today, and I'm just riddled with like this feeling that I am a terrible neighbor.
If I was you, the first thing I would do as soon as it start being built is I would walk out in the most millennial clothing that you own. Whatever you have that just makes it look like you do have money. I'd crack open a beer and be like, fucking new fence is looking good.
No, start giving them pointers on stuff.
Hey, no, not like that. The way that my dad does it when he helps me is actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
my dad do it one time.
I don't
what
think
would you do,
should. I don't think you should feel bad in that situation, because it's exactly that. Like, they don't need to approach you that soon into moving into a spot for something like that, you know?
If you ask me next summer, 100% I would do it. But we're trying to recoup I'm trying to recoup my bank account a little at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think in that situation, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, I have zero problem with you taking the lead on this. I hope it doesn't bother you that it's just not a financial thing that I'd like to take on right now. It really makes no sense for my life. So if you want it, like, have at it. I hope there's no resentment sort of thing. And I'd get them maybe like a fucking case of beer when it's all done.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. It's not a situation of what I would do, it's what I should do. And I wouldn't really spend the money on it right now, but I probably should. Just to, because it's such a shitty neighbor thing to not pay for half the fence. But the way that it's set up, I think I'm looking at it right now. It's like the posts, and then he's putting cedar planks on this side, and next year we could put cedar planks on this side. So technically we just have to pay for the post. But he has like 5 people doing it too. So labor, I guess. I don't know how much it would cost, but it's not the biggest thing of fence. If he said $500, I guess I'd do it.
I don't think you even need to do that. Like this is obviously something he's passionate about. He's doing it on all sides of his property. I'd be like, have at her, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck. But I get like, yeah, I mean, I've never, because I've always been in condos, so I've never had to meet really my neighbors or give a shit about them in any way at all. I'm actually like, I pride myself on not doing my neighbors any fucking favors because I don't want them to talk to me ever. I want no relationship. I don't want you to think you can text me and tell me to turn something down. I want you to feel uncomfortable.
That's good.
I don't
That's
want to have
attitude.
a relationship. It's a horrible attitude and I love it. But like I live by that. In a house, way different though.
Yeah. It's like it's the feeling that I get whenever I go out for dinner and somebody will pay for the dinner. Like even how your dad paid for golf. Like I just feel a little uncomfortable about it. Like I would feel better if I paid for it. Like I would have more, not with golf. I'll say the drinks that day, how they were buying us drinks the whole time. I would like feel 100% more comfortable and just like, not that I didn't have a great time, like I had a great time, but you just feel better if you bought a round of drinks and you were part of it. You know what?
I feel
it's
that
almost
way.
Like I dated a girl and her dad, and this is such a nice thing to do, but her dad would pay for dinner every time we would go out with them.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it is awesome, but at the same time,
what a fucking prick, man. I feel small. I don't care how fucking lame I feel. My bank account looks great.
It wasn't a situation where he would announce that he's paying. I don't know. Let me think about the situation, why it made me feel so uncomfortable. It was almost because he would.
You didn't have the chance to pay.
No, the check would come and he wouldn't immediately grab it. And I think he would be comfortable if I paid for the whole check, but I would be like I'm comfortable paying for mine and her. Like, would it be okay to split it up? And he'd be like, no, I'll pay for the whole thing.
Oh, that's uncomfortable, I will say.
Yeah. And
I'll grab just my meal. You can pay for your daughter and the rest of you.
I said I would pay for the daughter too.
I know. But in that situation, it's like if you're reaching for the check, you're either paying for the whole thing or you're not paying for it at all, I think. Is like how an older person would see it.
I hate it when people buy dinner for me for that reason. Because I just want to pay for my dinner. Let me pay for my dinner. I feel like I owe you something. I feel like I'm less than you. Maybe that's what it is. I feel like a lesser person than you. Like you're hot-shotting me.
Yeah, there is. I will say that I paid for golf and I'm okay with paying for shit for my buds and them not hitting me back immediately because I know in some way, shape, or form, Carlin and I are going to hang out again and he's going to buy something and it'll be great.
Oh, I have
Carlin
no
was
problem
like,
with
let
that.
me hit you back for golf, man. Like, just let me hit you back for golf. What's your e-transfer? Let me e-transfer you. He asked like 4 times on the way up and on the way back. And I was like, fuck off. It's fine. Yeah. So he's a good man. He's got a good conscience. He's got a good soul. But I'll say, if we're on the golf course and my dad wants to buy us beers, I'm like, have at it. But the fact that it was my dad's buddy buying us the beers, I was like, oh my God, Paul, stop, man. And he bought us like 4 for later. Yeah. It was like, here's 2 now and here's 2 more for later.
I just wanted to buy a round. But thank you, Paul. That was very generous and I do appreciate it.
Paul is a good man. Speaking of Paul, oh no, continue. Go on your thought there.
No, I was just saying, I think it's when someone who's not your peer pays for something for you. It just makes you feel uncomfortable.
I remember my ex that I lived with, her grandparents came down to Toronto and we went to like Milestones or something. So it wasn't really nice. It was just like something easy and unobtainable and looks, I don't know, upscale to people that aren't from the city. They went to Milestones. Did you?
Yeah. I was a fry cook.
What? That's it? That's all you did is cook fries?
Fries and calamari, and I think chicken nuggets. I cooked anything in the fryer.
Funny enough, Milestones has the worst calamari I've ever had in my life.
You haven't tried my calamari.
I wish you were on the deep fryer that day. But we're at Milestones, and I was making like I still don't make any money, but I was making no money at this point. And I was like, oh, I'm going to grab their grab dinner for all 4 of us, my girlfriend and her grandparents. So I was like, I'm going to the bathroom. This is my move. And then I go up to the server and I pay for it already.
Surprise pay.
And then on the way back, they're like, oh, like, don't worry about the check. I got it when it comes up. And they were straight up mad, like didn't appreciate it at all, visibly angry with me.
That is me in the future because you hotshotted him. You made him feel like a little man in front of his granddaughter.
I was trying to be nice and try to get in their good books.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole surprise pay too. So what happens? The guy goes, "Can I get the check?" And he goes, "No, he's got it already." And then everyone turns and looks at you, and you're like,
hate.
Yeah.
I was about to say I'd hate that, but in that scenario, because I hated the relationship I was in, and if I knew it annoyed him, I would have fucking loved it. But no, it's just it's mostly like you go up, you pay, they come back and clean their dishes, and then they'll be like, "Oh, we'll grab." They'll talk at the table, all 4 of us, like we'll grab the check, or they're not coming back from the check, and I'll be like, "Oh, I took care of it."
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for them to be like, "This motherfucker over here's gotcha."
Yeah, that's a pretty badass move.
I think it's a good one. The surprise pay is the only way that I can pay for some people. Like you would be one of those people. If I tried to grab dinner at the end of it or drinks at the end of it, you'd be like, no, let's split it. And I hate splitting it. It drives me crazy. I just want to get it over.
What's wrong with splitting it?
I feel like it annoys servers, and I'd rather make life easy.
Do you still have it in your relationship? And this is something that Danny does that drives me fucking crazy. I shouldn't say it so aggressively because it's a really nice thing, but we'll be at like the grocery store and I'll say, "I'm getting this one," because we just go back and forth, and she'll fight me to pay for it. And I'll be like, "Stop. Like, why do we have to do this dance every time we try and pay for something? Just let me pay for it. We know I'm going to pay for it. I don't think any less of you for letting me pay for this thing that I'm going to pay for." Does your girlfriend do that? And this is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
It's getting aggressive. And Danny and I have been dating 3.5 years. So like we know.
At what year does this dance end?
We know when I'm going to pay. I don't think it's ever going to end for Danny.
I find that endearing, but I've only been with my girlfriend for like 1.5 years. So it is different. I will say in every relationship I've ever been in, I've been fucked for money. I've been taken advantage of because I'm a very generous person.
Really?
And yeah, man, like one of my exes owes me like $3,000.
What?
And that's not like money that I've spent on dinners collectively and I'm like keeping a fucking tally. That's like money for rent that they didn't add up, and like other things that they needed at the time.
What are the other things?
What was it? There was like school stuff. She was building a cafe at the time, so I was helping with that, like investing money into it. It was fucking horrible, man. And I was like, hey, I remember she owed me at this point at least $1,000 and 2 months. It was 2 months rent. And I came home and she was like, and this is going to make me sound like an asshole, but I do not care because I was making $36,000. So I make no fucking money to live in the city. And she was like, there was a present bag. And I was like, who's that for? And she's like, oh, there's this guy down the street that I met, and it looked like he was having a rough time. So I got this bag of treats for his dog and a new leash. And I was like, with my fucking money? I don't fucking care about that, stranger, man. We can't afford rent.
This is why you never lend money to friends or family members. Because they owe you the money, and then you look at the crap they're buying, and you're like, "Why are you not paying me back?" Mm-hmm. But that's absurd. I hate that shit. It's like, we're the poor people. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm at the fucking poverty line with how much I'm making right now. Literally, it's not a livable wage in the city. Look it up. It was so bad. Oh, so bad. But now the relationship that I'm in now, Lucy, like, she's so great at, like, we're so 50-50. It's fantastic. And just like little shit, she'd be like, oh, like, I saw that you needed these things, so I picked them up for you. Don't worry about it. Because we always hit each other back. Or like, I got you lunch one day, I hit you back. But groceries and stuff, it's never really a dance. It's like, I got this one, don't worry about it. And we're very comfortable knowing that the next one is someone else.
Yeah, we do that every time, but when it comes for my turn to pay, Danny still fights me for it sometimes. I'm like, just let me pay.
If
When we go out for dinner, like
mm,
I'm gonna pay for dinner. Let me pay for dinner, but we still have to do that dance at the end of the thing. And it's gotten to a point where we both go, I'm paying it this time. Don't embarrass me. Where it's like we're not fighting about this in front of the person.
yeah,
On our
yeah.
okay, I will say on our and I should have known that this was coming because on our first date, Danny paid because she wouldn't let me pay. She said to the bartender, "Don't let this guy pay." And she knew the bartender. So she put the debit machine over me.
That
And
would
again,
fucking that would kill. And doesn't matter. Like, obviously, women can pay for first dates and stuff, but
yeah.
like in that regard, I'm an old fashioned guy and I want to pay. Even if the date was horrible, I'm paying.
Yeah, but I think she's brought it up as a joke since then, and it's just like wouldn't let me, you literally would not let me pay.
You
So how
created
dare
an
you bring this
environment
up?
where it wasn't possible for me to pay.
Yeah, yeah, it's so annoying. Uh,
Back to Paul for a second. My dad's friend Paul, who was buying us beers when we went for golf, and we didn't like it, even though it was awesome and we
it was
appreciated
awesome.
Paul.
I
So,
did like it,
oh yeah, we obviously loved
but
the
I would
gesture.
have out of the 6 beers he bought, I would have liked to buy one.
Yes, for sure. So Paul, there's a hockey player named Drake Kajula, and we got Carlin a signed Drake Kajula jersey
Because he played for the
because
Edmonton Oilers.
he used to be on the Oilers and he was one of Carlin's favorite players. So my dad was like, we should figure out how to do this and talk to Paul, and we got it, and it was great. So the whole time we were golfing, he's like, "Oh, would you guys want to golf with Drake Kajula if he came up here?" And we're like, "Fuck yeah, an NHL player! I would have endless fucking questions. He would hate to hang out with me. I would love to hang out with him."
I think it would be a situation where I wouldn't ask him any hockey questions because I think I'd just be annoying him.
I would wait for anyone to bring up hockey and then be like, "Yeah, and I have actually something." But so he was like, "Yeah, we'll try to plan it." And like, when people say things like that, like, "Oh, maybe we'll play golf with this hockey player," I'm like,
It's down the road.
yeah, it's kind of like you're blowing smoke up my ass. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. And my dad texted me last night, and he's like, "Long weekend, Canada Day long weekend. We should all be golfing with Drake. You in?" What he doesn't understand is Carlin, his girlfriend, my girlfriend, and I, and 2 people that were both friends with, Cody and Lauren, we're all going to my parents' place for the night, the day that he wants us to go golfing. If we were to leave those 3 women alone and go golfing, I am fucking dead. Cody is fucking dead, and guess who is also dead? You're dead.
I think I could get away with it.
I think maybe you are the only person because Drake Kajula means something to you specifically.
I think I could get away with it because if you put Danny on like by the water on a towel and she just has some drinks, she'll be happy. I'll be like, I'm going golfing for 2-3 hours. We'll be back later. Sorry.
She wouldn't say, "Oh, we like this place that we've never been together. You didn't want to spend time. You want to go shoot 18 holes, which will take 4.5, 5 hours, lose the entire day."
I would be interested to see if I could get away with it. I think I could.
I think you're the only one, because I said to my dad, I was like, it's not even a question I can ask my girlfriend. And it's nothing to do with, like, Lucy is so chill with me golfing all the time, but the whole point of us going up together is to hang out.
Yeah.
Not for 3 of us to do one thing and 3 of us to do the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be bad. I think it might be more fun to hang by the water too. But it would be pretty fun to golf with Drake Kajula.
I just need to see how he golfs.
It was probably pretty good.
Right? He's a fucking NHL player. I feel like they're all good. He probably crushes the ball.
Yeah, we would probably be embarrassed. That would be the one time I'd feel embarrassed golfing in front of someone, I think.
You know how I feel about golfing in front of strangers. That stranger is now an NHL player. I'm shanking every shot. I'm in my head immediately.
Yeah, you're up there for
I thought about that too. But I think what we're going to try to do is convince him to come for drinks after the round. Cool. So that way, we still kind of get to hang out with them, and we get to have a fucking beer with them, man. NHL players drink beer, dude.
And we're gonna ask him about all the NHL stuff. What's it like playing with Milan Lucic?
What's it like playing in Buffalo? Do you want to kill yourself?
Is he still in Buffalo?
Well, for the time being.
Yikes.
On a big bowl of yikes.
Oh, before we end here, I just want to congratulate you on a big TikTok video. I saw that. How many views is that now?
Which one?
Oh, damn.
Which one, dude?
Let's see. That's what I wanted to congratulate you on.
Yeah, I'm a TikTok star. You can follow me at Radio Brent.
Still 278 followers. 60,000 plays. 60,000.
On my soccer one?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, that one crushed. I was very surprised.
Are you actually a Germany soccer fan?
Yeah. I mean, just because my last name's German, like I started watching them as a young lad. But it's crazy because like I only watch World Cup and Euros.
Yeah.
Like I'm not watching these German soccer players on their actual teams. So it's fucking wild to just be like, where's all these people? Where's Schweinsteiger? Where's Ozil? And you're like, oh, they aged out years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like 4 years in between these things, right? You're like, no, like they're not even like I know like Cruz and Muller is like the only people I know on German soccer. But the comments on that are crazy. I had 68 comments from the same two people going back and forth arguing what is a tougher sport, hockey or soccer. I had to ban one of them. It was so annoying.
You had to ban them? Why would you ban someone for running up your comments?
Back and forth saying like soccer, they run the whole time. Soccer's the hardest sport to play. Everyone knows it. Another guy. Actually, hockey's really tough to play. And they skate really far. Other guy. No, they're running the whole time in soccer. They're coasting in hockey. I was like, shut the fuck up.
This is exactly what you want. That's probably probably part of the reason you got so many.
That happened at 54,000 views.
Okay.
That happened at 54,000 views.
I can't believe you banned them for that.
I banned one guy, and I banned the soccer guy because he's a fucking idiot. Soccer's not harder to play. That's why everyone is able to do it and be somewhat good at it. Who's the shitty kid? Put him on defense.
That's a good point. I think soccer's way easier than hockey.
It
Soccer is one sport I'm not very good at, but it's because I'm better with things with my hands than my feet. But soccer is like hockey is so much more intense, and there's a high skill level to both of them. But I feel like hockey,
for sure,
there's more of a learning curve in hockey for sure.
You're going as fast as humanly possible on half an inch of steel. You have guys that want to put your teeth through the fucking boards the entire time. People are playing with torn ligaments, fucking broke. Like your teeth come out, you get stitched up, you come back in. That is tougher infinitely than soccer. Soccer, you have to be very in shape. The cardio is incredible. I can't imagine doing that much running. I have a lot of respect for any athlete that is a professional at what they do, but it's not even fucking remotely close.
By the way, how do you like the Montreal Canadiens there? I can't believe I'm actually cheering for the Montreal Canadiens, and I actually like Corey Perry now.
I hate Corey Perry, but I have a lot of people that I know that I like that are Habs fans, and I like to. They're happy. I would one day like to feel what they're feeling, so I'm trying to support them.
Does it hurt because it was supposed to be you?
It wasn't supposed to be us because we would have fucking found a way to backwards fucking tumble into nothing.
Everyone thought it was going to be the Maple Leafs.
Dude, of course we thought it was because we're Leaf fans. But look at our track record. Boston, David Ayers, we lost to a fucking Zamboni driver. The Canucks had COVID, didn't play for a month, managed to lose to them. We find the excuse that every other team absolutely destroys teams about, and we do the opposite.
But I will say this, everyone even in Edmonton was saying the Leafs, or not everyone in Edmonton, but people were scared of the Leafs and people thought the Leafs would go to at least the third round.
Biz nasty on Spit and Chicklets. Like half the Spit and Chicklets guys were like, they're going to the Cup, and we all felt it. And then John Tavares had the most mortifying injury I've ever seen in my life, and they never recovered. You can say whatever. They picked up 3 games from that, but that's their other line, and they didn't have another gear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. Either way. I can't believe they made it to the final. Good God.
It was crazy, though. The scene in Montreal last night after, like, this is going to air obviously a few days after, but we're talking right now the night after Montreal has sent themselves to the Stanley Cup final. And, like, I can't imagine if that happened in Toronto because it would be very violent.
Oh, I love the people talking shit about Montreal being like, I can't believe they're doing that in Montreal. What type of people are they? If this happened in Toronto, if it were the Maple Leafs, the same shit would be happening here.
More cop cars would be lit on fire per block than any other fucking city in the entire world.
Yes.
That being said, fuck the police. I loved that they were absolutely destroying a cop car. I thought it was hilarious. Because like what cops are just like, hey, please stop lighting off fireworks into people's faces. They're like, fuck you, pig! Kick their fucking window in. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with those people too, because the way that they have surveillance nowadays, you're gonna get caught for doing
the people standing and jumping and being like, yeah, fuck the cops on the cop car. You're done, dude.
Yeah,
that's
what are you
all
thinking?
Over the internet. That is all over the fucking news.
Did you not just watch people storm the Capitol? I feel like in 2012 or whatever, 13, whenever Vancouver lost in the final there, I feel like they found all those people too. And that was a long time ago. That was 10 years ago. But
storming the Capitol is a great comparison.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, this isn't like racially targeted or bigoted in like Trump shit. But I just mean from perspective of they can fucking find out who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would not be lighting a cop car on fire. I don't know, though. I've never had my team go to the Stanley Cup final like that. Or wait, I have in 2006 because the Edmonton Oilers are an amazing hockey franchise and not irrelevant like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto Maple Leafs are the worst hockey team in the world. They are awful, and every Canadian team has now made it to the Stanley Cup final. Every Canadian team has now made it to the Stanley Cup final before the Leafs have won a playoff round. Think about that stat for a second.
I think it's hilarious how broken Leaf fans are this week or this year. Like they broke you these playoffs.
Dude,
there was some hope before, but Leaf fans are broken now.
It's not even this. What happened this year was the most embarrassing collapse they have ever fucking had. Tavares or not, you're up 3-1 in a series. You need to win one game against a team of glorified third and second liners. You fucked up Mitch Marner. You did nothing. You got the best goaltending you've ever gotten. Your defense were an issue. You couldn't score because none of you shot at the net, and you fucked yourselves. And now, instead of looking like, what's the answer? It's always been defense, goaltending. Solved. You're just bad at hockey. You're all bad at hockey.
It's not, none of them are bad at hockey. It's that they didn't have the heart, I thought. I'm also not a hockey pundit, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But the games that I watched,
Mitch Marner,
the games
bad
that I
at
watched,
hockey.
I was like, these guys do not have the drive to win this series. Like, you got to want it in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I will admit that once they got up to 3-1, they didn't want it. Jake Muzzin was out. Excuses city. It was easily just like, oh, Tavares and Muzzin are gone, so I guess we should just say fuck it because it'll be easy to say fuck it. Now let's all go with our hot wives to Barbados and take photos together. Fuck that.
I like how you haven't cooled off this long. Are you going to be hopeful when the season starts, or are you still...
I'll watch every game, and I obviously will be rooting for them because I'm sick with Maple Leaf fever, but not a fucking thing matters until you get a playoff series win. Nothing matters. Finish first in the league, I don't give a fuck. Win a goddamn playoff series.
I love that you finally realized it because I've been saying this to Leaf fans forever. Every time they talk about how good their team is, I would say you have to win something. And finally, I think that they are recognizing that.
Well, when you would say that, I'd be like, well, the Oilers are dog shit, so it's easy to say that because we're clinging to things past. But now I mean, just like I have no retort. I absolutely have no retort. You have more playoff series wins than us in recent history, and it bothers me, and that's all I have. Like, you are correct. You are correct.
Of the one time we've actually been to the playoffs, I guess it's been 2 actual playoffs now.
Yeah, but what did you do
round.
in that playoff? You won a round. Pretty
beat
cool. Must have felt
Sharks.
good.
It did. It felt awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, let's end it there.
Yeah. We'll end it before Brent has a breakdown here.
I got to go to work, and I don't want to bring this chaotic energy to the Indy 88 listener.
Awesome. Well, make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to. It helps a lot. It boosts the numbers. So we will be very thankful. And follow us on our social medias because we post on there a lot. And it'd be nice to chat with you and also be involved with you and your life.
Yeah, he's what? At Carlin Burton _
on Instagram, and then at Carlin Burton on Twitter.
I'm at Radio Brent on Instagram, at Radio _ Brent on Twitter. So good that we have absolutely zero. What's the word I'm looking for?
Continuity, maybe?
Continuity, consistency between the two. Whatever.
It's Linda Burton on Instagram. She has Carlin Burton for some reason, but doesn't post or go on there, which is very annoying.
There's Brent Alberts, almost the exact same name as me, who is Radio Brent and is a realtor and will not give me the handle.
Really? Have you asked him for it?
Multiple times. I'm like, fight to the death? I don't think I will, Brent.
He actually responds to you, and why is he Radio Brent?
Because he's a little bitch and he does like a radio show to nobody.
Have you offered him money?
No, because he shouldn't. I shouldn't have to give him money.
How many
Radio _ Brent.
On what is this, Instagram or Twitter or what?
Twitter. He's Radio Brent.
Have you ever considered changing your name to something else since you're not just Radio Brent anymore? You're like Video Brent and also Podcast Brent.
Radio Brent is my brand now, unfortunately. Like, the small amount of people that recognize me in the street, they say, "What's up? It's Radio Brent." It's kind of crazy.
Well, they'd be lying because Brent Alberts is Radio Brent.
I know. What's up? It's Radio _ Brent.
He kind of looks like you in the future.
Man.
He's you in the future. Okay, let's get out of here.
Peace.